All right, let's get a couple of webcams up and running. Good to see you, Chuck, Mark, everybody. Robert, good to see you, Wayne. Sassy to you. Hopefully everyone's getting excited. This is a short week. We only have 2 days left of trading. Friday market is closed from Good Friday. So I would probably expect it to be quite quiet. Kids are off from school next week. A lot of kids had spring break and so on. Double whammy. Tax season's coming on too, on top of it, Easter Sunday. So it's like a perfect storm. Yesterday, I just had Josh in here. I had doing morning meetings with him. Didn't really see that much even yesterday. We had a couple of stocks. We'll talk a little bit about them that did pretty well. I mean, some of you, if you listen to me closely and me and Josh in the morning, some of you made your dollar for the day. And I'm like, you know what? Leave. And it was like the first 5-10 minutes. Now, I know, granted, not a lot of us here probably did that well, but that's fine. They're there every day, and that's all that matters. Like the the LIXT and the ATER. We'll talk a little bit about that. Norman says the GO. Was that what it is? The GOEV. I will check it out in a minute. Sometimes these stocks pop in program trading going into the last, right at the 9 o'clock starting hours. So anyway, a couple of obviously, if you've been watching the news this morning and seeing what's been going on, the PPI numbers came out and they were worse than they were expected. They were at 11.2 versus 10.6. Now, for some of you, if you're starting to see and starting to feel inflation, okay, and see, and I think the first thing people look at is they see gas, right? And now there's, obviously food and steak and eggs and all that stuff and bread and stuff like that. That's the wholesale number, okay, that went up. So, Jamie Dimon already saying that we could go into a recession, probably go into next year, the rates going, because that number is pretty bad. That number's really bad, and that's why the market's not down huge. But that means that whatever the wholesaler pays, okay, you have to think about it. There's a manufacturer and then a wholesaler buys from a manufacturer, and then the wholesaler is selling it to the public. Some of you own businesses, you know what I'm talking about. You're actually a wholesaler. You're buying it and so on. That number went up substantially. It was more than they were anticipated, which means that it's going to be passed down to the consumer. So inflation is going to continue to go higher because they're not taking a hit at all. Okay. Listen, I just got a letter from, I got to call them up. I don't know what the hell this is all about, but I just got a letter from my processing company that my rate doubled. And, so if you've noticed too, another thing, that credit card charges, if you notice, a lot of companies are now starting to say, hey, you want to pay by credit card? We'll give you a 3% discount, or they're going to charge you 3% on top of it. I mean, back then, it wasn't that bad. You were paying like 1.5%, 2%, but now they want 4%. Like that's like net for them. So, it's really going to affect a lot of things. So, just be prepared for it. Once again, we're traders. We're hopefully going to capitalize on it, so whatever happens there with inflation, with the PPI numbers, we're going to try to kind of monetize that and use it to our benefit, I guess, right? Already have a deal with not using a credit card. Well, Carl, they make things sound great, with the points and the miles, this and that, but small mom and pops places can't do it anymore. Going from 2% to 4%, that's a lot, and you're really doing it. Restaurants, their profit margin, is only, if they max out, it's like 20%. You take away 4%, that's almost like 30% of their revenue that comes out of their pocket, and they're already dealing with the headaches on there. So it is quite expensive. Another thing I heard too that was pretty bad this morning. Did anyone look at what the interest rates are on homes? Oh my God! I was just listening. I have my poor niece is looking for a house. You could have locked in at like what, 2.22 5/8. Now it's at what? Yeah, I know, 5%, Norman. 5 1/8 it was. 5 1/8. It doubled in less than a month or two. That just changes everything. Obviously, that's going to affect the home buying prices to go down. So, but So you paid a little bit more for a house, you know, and the interest rate's low, it's going to come out to be the same. So a lot of crazy things that are happening, you know, and it's so weird how it's just like, it's like it just hit us like all of a sudden out of nowhere, you know. But let me just tell you something. This is not like the stock market. Whatever goes up comes down twice as fast. Doesn't work like this in reality. Whatever goes up twice as fast takes, whatever goes up takes 5 times slower to go down, they said. So that's what prolongs it. It's easy to go up. It's hard to bring it back down. All right, so anyway, let's with the bad news that we heard this morning, let's look on the bright side, what's going on. So I know some of you here did pretty well on some of the stocks that we traded. I want to talk a little bit about some of them that we had yesterday. I mean, this thing was just literally a animal yesterday. Nice little pop you could see right here at 9:30. This thing just came out of nowhere. Literally went from like 250 and went all the way to $4.25. It was a beautiful, actually higher, 480, a great run up. Did a little bit of shake right here. So some of you could have caught on to this right around, was hovering around 350, and it just made another small little pop for about another buck. So if you came in late, you could have caught on to this. Then you could see the party was over and then started making a Fausto flag on the downside. But that stock alone right there, you caught it early. You saw it here. You had about a couple of minutes to capitalize on it. And I think some of you jumped in right around the $3 price range. It was like a level 1 stock, and all of a sudden, boom, it became like a level 4. That one did pretty well. ATER, let's bring up that one in the afternoon, right around, I mean, literally 3:30, another great runner. $4.30 stock, just did not want to stop, going all the way up until the after hours. This thing ran all the way to $5.50. I did closing bell yesterday, and I was showing some of the people in there, the wonderful new traders, which are going to be joining us, and they couldn't find anything. They didn't see ATER, but you know what? We did. I know it was the first stock on Josh's watch list, and that was at 2:30. He found it, 2:30. And look, we know where program trading kicks in right at 3:30. If you don't know that, you should have had your mouse pad. If you haven't got one, email us, get it. Best times to trade right there. See it right there? 3:30 to right the last 5 minutes. But this apparently went after hours. All right, so that did pretty well. And that was pretty much it. So let's forget about what happened yesterday. Let's see what's going on this morning. Honestly, I'm not seeing that much out there. One of you just brought up the stock, GOEV. We'll go check it out. Yeah, you see, you called it out, and look what happened. Thing shot up, 9 a.m. program trading, and came crashing right back down. So that tier size are ugly. Volume is decent. I'll probably pass on that right now. ATER is a buyout. You can see the thing just took off and literally it's not going anywhere. Usually that looks like it. Another one right here, SSRI. Stock is flat, not going anywhere. $52 stock. We're not staying. This one is, we got some volatility on this one. BCTX. I'm starting to get a little desperate here, but CTIC. We traded this back in March. It was at $2, went to $4.50. You got some resistance levels here, 525. It did that in pre-market around 6:30 this morning. If it does break that, then it probably will go, get a nice little push. We're at 11%, 11%, as one of the number 5 biggest percentage gainer on the NASDAQ. That's not good for this morning. So listen, I anticipate it's going to happen. I think it's going to get a hell of a lot worse tomorrow. Actually, let me take a step back. I totally forgot about it. Tomorrow is going to be Holy Thursday. Kids are off from school. My kids are off. So today might even be really slow, okay? It might even be really slow. Doesn't mean that we want to quit trading, because sometimes these stocks have to come out with news, and they will make a move, but we can keep an eye on that. Airlines, I don't know what happened to airlines, but I didn't check the news. I think Josh will let me know. But the airlines obviously moving well. You can see American Airlines did pretty well. Delta Airlines had a big pop. This is very rare to see Delta up that much. They had that big crash from $44 down to $30, but it's really been channeling here. That's a pretty big move. So you got American, you got United, you got all the airlines that are all in the market. You could probably look at, Save. I know they were looking for that merger. with JetBlue really kind of holding here. I mean, all of them are looking pretty well. So you might be focused on the airlines. All right. Airlines might be the ones that, because they're all up there on that list. Losers, not really seeing that much out there. Nothing good on a dead cat bounce right here. New York Stock Exchange, you can see Delta, second biggest percentage gainer on the New York Stock Exchange, and that is only a 4%. That's pretty bad. All right. That is pretty ugly. That's about it. That's about it. I don't know. Do you guys see anything else out there that I'm missing? Michael says BBBY took a little bit of a hit. Yeah, BBBY, Bed Bath & Beyond's taking a little bit of hits, getting close to support levels. I mean, the stock had a nice little rally when it went from like 15 all the way to 30. That was a nice double, but it's coming down pretty damn fast. Support levels are pretty strong. So listen, if you're a swing trader, listen, you break these supports. I mean, you're getting close to that 1250. So you're not too far off. Lita's saying Lita, I saw that stock and it was on my watch list, the VERU. I'll throw it back up there, but she started coming back down again. That was the only problem. It's going to be a fast moving stock. So I don't want to be too aggressive on a day like today regarding, getting close to a really big weekend. All right, traders. So we got about 15 minutes before the market opens up. Listen, if you missed yesterday's video of closing bell, it is being recorded. If you're in a cyber group room, if you watch Josh's, Traders Talk, that's been recorded. You have that part of your library. If you're new here to Cyber Trading University, make sure that you don't buy anything. You're only here to watch to see if this is something that you could do. You want to see if the other traders are doing very well. Don't count our money, count theirs. See how we actually work together like a team, and hopefully this will be something you want to do. And if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook Live, you can always join us here every morning until you're ready to join the Cyber Group Room. We're here live every morning from 9 a.m. to back here at 2:30 for the afternoon hours. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you in a little bit. And for everybody else, I'll see you back here at 2:30.